that are here with us on live streaming tonight. We're on Roku. You can go to Roku, add the channel EEFI Network. Go to it and add your channel to add us to your lineup. We're actually live on here now on Roku. Um, if you can't get us here, if you can't get us on YouTube, go to Roku, our network TV station. It's where we are at this moment, loading, going in now. So if you could go to Roku and pick us up tomorrow. I'm looking to give a demo on how to do it live right here in the studio to catch our channel. We're actually dealing with men's true round table tonight. We want to say to Dr. Boucher, good to see you online tonight. Happy that you are here. Pam is here. Pam, good evening, everyone. She's here as we wait for our panelists to make their arrival, and we want to definitely be of encouragement to them as well if they make their arrival. Listen, which is our first day on the air. Well, we've been on it, but this is the day that we launch. And so we have launch. Yeah, somebody say launch. Launched our site. And we're certainly on here. And we're looking to do a great job. You that want to take your show on the live television. This is not just Roku. Um, this is not just your regular thing that you go to. This is the real deal. This comes on in your living room, just like you watching BET and others. This thing is real deal. It's no joke. You want to go on live? There's a site on my page, Lamarck Thomas or Apostle Lamarck Thomas. You can go there, and when you go there, you want to push in. Yeah, you want to push in our package and communicate with us at EFI Network about hosting any of your events, your talk shows, or whatever. We're putting it on air. If it makes sense to you, we're here to help you and promote you to get you where you're going when it comes to uh, your ministry, your idea. We want to talk with you so we can put you live on TV. We will work with you for the first 90 days because it's grandpapa. You get in while it's grandpapa time. After 90 days, grandpapa days are locked up. You won't ever see that package again. Not at EEFI Network. You just won't see it. So I want to encourage you to come and be a part. Tell somebody that knows somebody to come on and bring it in, and let's get this thing on the road and let's move it around. Let's get it where it's going. Listen, you need my help. I'm here to help you. Come on and let's get it done. Yeah. So, all right. We got Dr. Stevens has made his arrival, and he certainly is here. He's in the back waiting on us. We're waiting on our co-host, and he's here. Our co-host is coming, and it's good to see him on tonight. Our co-host is coming in. We doing pretty good. Dr. Stevens, tell us. Something went wrong with his tech. Um, there he is. I think he got us mute there. I think he better get us off mute. There we go. All right, come on, greet the people, Doc.
How's everyone? We hope everyone has had a great day so far. We're just excited and thankful that we're able to see another day and and a chance to minister and to express various things from a biblical perspective, as God has given each individual, and hopefully it'll push us, propel us to be the men God has qualified us to be.
That's it. That's it. So as we move, it's 8:04. We're literally live on Roku TV. As I said before, if you got Roku, go to Roku. And we're actually sitting on that platform now. As of right now, we're sitting on at least 2,200 platforms right now as we speak. This is how powerful we are. We had the women's show on Tuesday night, and we had the platform over 5,000 views watching us from different areas. 5,000. Wow, 5,000. So we're looking to be at 10,000 views by the end of next week, and we'll study climbing. We'll study climbing. So as we move forward, I'm going to put this show back up so Dr. Stevenson can recap where he left off at on last week. And we want him to be able to deal with it. So let's get to that clip as we move there. And we're going to hit play as of now.
You keep chasing skirts. Y'all wanted me to come for you today. Y'all got to log in. You got to log in. You got to share. Ladies, do me a favor, like and share so the brothers on your page can get this because they're going to get some help today. They're going to get it. Some of the brothers said, hey, we want to hear something too. But one of the things I've noticed where a lot of men mess up. Now, men can tell women where they mess up, but women can tell men where they mess up. I've lived long enough where I can sit here and tell you where men mess up majorly is a lot of times you're chasing aesthetics. You're chasing aesthetics. Women deal with comparison and competition, but so do men. Men deal with it equally as bad as women. The only difference is women try to hurt who they are jealous of or who they're comparing themselves to. They try to sabotage them. They try to delay them. Men, what you do instead is you try to compete with the people that you are looking up to, the person that you are envying. A lot of times what guys do, I'm going to take us in guys' net, is you will find or you'll come in contact with good, godly women, but you're so busy looking at your cousin's wife, your uncle's wife, your best friend's wife, or their girlfriends, or their sneaky links. You're so busy looking at them, and you want somebody that looks better than what they have.
Dr. Stevens, as we pull on this ramp here, that tail issue, you left off with that tail issue. Bring us back up to speed.
Well, let's go here. It's good to see Pastor Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Based upon what she just stated and connecting where we just left off, she says something that is interesting, that men go for skirts, and how men chase aesthetics.
Right.
When I hear those things, it sounds quite insulting.
Right.
And let me explain why. Let me explain why. Right. And I can stand on this because it's biblical. Everything that makes her her, she was born with. You call it aesthetics as if what you have and what you were born with and what causes us to be attracted to you, and as a result, the reproductive process has already began with my desire for you. It was minimized. It was minimized. God wired you as a man to be attracted to beauty.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm not sorry. Well, women don't become financially attractive to us. Women don't become career attractive.
Right.
We're not career attracted to her. But what the lady presented as aesthetics, you call those aesthetics.
Right.
We call it what God gave her
Right.
when she was born with that type of femininity. And yes, that includes her features.
Uh-oh.
Yes, that includes her mannerism and her soft touch.
Right.
Yes, it does. You mean to tell me all of those things that's feminine, I can't be attracted to them without them being minimizing. So indirectly, you are minimizing what men have innately.
Wow.
Because it would then become insulting to her if we want her, desire her because of what she has monetarily.
Right. Right.
Because of what her career is.
Right.
That would be a problem.
Right. Right. Right.
Because then then it'll move into an area, you don't like me for me.
Uh-oh.
Notice, and I'm going to land here because I'm glad to see Pastor Boyd. Notice sometimes, hey, and I'm going to use this as an analogy.
Uh-huh.
How many times have you seen a movie where the rich, handsome businessman marries the lady who's a low-level employee that don't make much money, who works in housekeeping?
50 Shades of Grey.
Have we seen that in a Tyler Perry movie?
Absolutely.
And it's not far-fetched. I'm not knocking them. Can I tell you why? That is just a small part of a generalized idea. We are attracted to who she is as a woman. Her hair, her eyes, her shape, her figure, her smile, how she responds, what type of temperament she have. You mean to tell me that those things you just told you, and then in the same breath you'll tell that man to provide for what? All the things that I like, you're telling me is something wrong with me, that because I like those things.
Right.
How does that make sense? It just don't make much sense.
It don't make much sense at all.
Because Tyler Perry in that movie, it proves to us in just a brief minute, a man can marry a woman and be happy and enjoy her, and she's homeless. She don't have any money.
That's a validated point.
But you know why? She can be nice. She may be a great homemaker. In other words, all of the things that's there, she makes home feel like home.
Exactly.
So you mean to tell me all of those things, and a brother can care less about how much money she has?
A true man don't care.
Because we're not trying to drain her of her resources.
Yeah, we don't need it. It's not good. It's not good.
That's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
No. But that's just my take on that brief snippet of what she gave. You know, it sound, okay, I get it. I hear you.
Yeah, that tail thing would throw me.
We chase skirts. We begin to be caught up in the aesthetics. Listen, and every man is entitled to, if she want to use the word aesthetics as it relates to a woman's physical beauty, and that's it. Okay, I got it. But we're not gonna deal with the fact that Esther, with those aesthetics, she could use those aesthetics and her soft touch within her own personalized femininity, and was able to save a kingdom. Was able to save a kingdom. Was able to save an entire kingdom.
Period.
So it's what God gives you is much deeper than something that should be presented as if it should be thrown haphazardly.
Right.
And if no. Listen, some guys are attracted to whatever he's attracted to in a lady. Whatever it is he's attracted. Every man is entitled to that.
Right.
But should a man be indicting because he's attracted to what he's attracted to, and she was born with it? You were born with it. Everything. I'm sorry. I believe I'm not the only minister that has, performed weddings, and when you perform those weddings, I've never heard a groom say, "Listen, how much does she have? How much does she have in terms of this? How much does she have in terms of that? How much she gonna give me?" He don't see her as an opportunity,
right,
to receive financial endowments.
Right.
He's not looking for a woman that's the provider, that's his provider. I mean, I don't understand it. So
Wow.
you, in one breath, you're going to disqualify what inspires us to provide.
Right.
This is what inspires him to provide.
Right.
Everything that makes her her.
Right.
That makes her her. We've got to step. I've been saying this, and I'm gonna say it till the cows come home. What makes us appealing, we've got to gain it outside of ourselves.
Right.
Because just to identify the provision alone, just that. When you add in the psychological, the emotional, how to do everything you can to make sure that everything is anchored, even if you have to anchor the chaos that's close to you.
This is true. This is true.
And just that area of provisioning alone, just on the providing aspect, we got to get all of that outside of us. Now we start dealing with the money. We got to work and work. We got to get all of that outside of us. That's outside of us.
My problem with that is that I can't understand why women don't like to take responsibility.
And what matter?
What you say, Dr. Paul?
And take responsibility in what matter?
In any situation, if she know she's failing within herself to be that woman that she should be, and we just speaking in an open general statement of being a woman, and she knows she's failing to take that responsibility always causes the men. And I'll tell you this, men always suffer when women are embarrassed. If they fail themselves, they're going to look to try to find somebody to blame for the negative and the neglect that they've done. I'm just going to put that on the table, and then we're going to ride deep if this thing get to moving.
Well, first, I'm not going to go into a long discourse. Listen, young
Let's
lady.
get in the rabbit hole. I want to talk about that rabbit hole.
My hands are up. I'm not going there because now watch this. I'm going to voice the sentiments of what I hear.
All right.
And what I've heard actively listening. While actively listening is, are we qualified to critique behavior that we don't like?
Are we
qualified to critique?
Right.
And since if you're not qualified to critique, then even your wisdom, if you are right, it doesn't matter if you're right. If I don't consider you qualified just to give a critique, if I don't consider you qualified for giving a critique, it could be because of some other reasons.
Yeah, you tried your best for it. You tried your best for it, that rabbit hole, ain't you?
Say it could be because of some other reasons.
Look, Dr.
Yes,
Boy
sir.
look like
I
he's
will
starving
acknowledge
down there. He look like he's starving.
that
Dr.
rabbit
Boy,
hole gets deep. It gets deep.
listen. Dr. Boy look like he's starving down there. Let's get him. Let's let him antagonize. See which way he gonna try to protect him tonight. He loves trying to protect him. Come on, protect him. So we can go for it before we get on the bicycle. We're gonna get on the bicycle on you. Come on. What you gotta say?
I'm gonna say this here.
All right.
You know, nobody takes responsibility. The only time that we are complaining now is when things are not standing up to our preference. And the reason why that is the reason why we got shows like this, because we have to critique the behaviors of immature men and immature women who, as this young lady got that you shared on the show here, making an observation using the Bible and thinking, probably heard it on YouTube, heard somebody say something about the woman making the man, and she utilized it because it was attracted to her. And then, okay, she's called herself defending the men, or it would sound like she's defending the men.
There you go. Sounds like it.
That a woman makes the man. You know, you're killing the man. You're the downfall to the man. And some men have played, because they don't know the responsibility, have played into that analogy. That the only reason why I could not be the man that I have the capability of being is because of the woman that I'm with. I've heard this so many times in ministry, pretty much from the duration. And this responsibility, as Dr. Stevens was saying, at the end of the day, who qualifies you to judge me?
That's the truth. Well.
You know, because
come on with that. Come on with that.
And whose ruler are we going to use?
All right.
Because I will never measure up. We got 3 different men on this show. Would I measure myself as a man in areas that I stand up and a man? It's not the same areas with Apostle Thomas stand. You know, or Dr. Stevens. We all have those areas where we use our own ruler to measure up ourselves to set that standard there. Now let me do like Dr. Stevens here and say let me rewind that tape. For my part and for our part on the show, we are applying the rule which God established. Man, it's not mine, it's God. And if I use his, I will never qualify or be qualified to judge other men or other women based upon, and a lot of times, Dr. Stephen, they're basing it solely on their experience.
That's true. But the standards to the Bible goes for everybody. That's how I can get
No, it don't go for everybody. You got to be saved. You got to be saved for the Bible to be relevant to you.
You can be unsaved and still be. You still got a hold to it.
No. Because if Jesus is not Lord, then they're not his disciple. And that's where the problem come in, Apostle, is that we're trying to force non-believers to apply to something that is spiritual, which they have not complied to being born again to even study.
But watch this here. He said in the book, he said this is in the book, I shall reign on the just as well as the unjust. That means is the responsibility of the unjust is just as powerful as the just. That's just a simple version that I can deal with. So that means is my people gonna perish for the lack of knowledge. There's another accountability. And I can keep running this train from the book of Genesis all the way to the book of
I can run
Revelation.
this train
It
with
don't
you.
matter about
But
you
no,
being
but
saved.
the
You got
one,
to get the
no,
responsibility done.
because
You're
let's
gonna
go
be
to John.
accountable. Huh?
Let's go to John. John
Okay.
said they are condemned already. What you gonna judge if they already condemned?
Okay, but watch this here. When you're dealing with the word condemn, condemn must be used in the perfection or in the area. I want to use that word because it's gonna take me where I need to go. In the area of point of no return. Yes, they damn right now, but they still got the hope of glory. Mean repent if my people, which you call by my name.
If they repent.
If they repent.
You can't
So
make
you
a
still got
saved,
hope.
an
So that means
unsaved
you still
woman.
got a chance.
You cannot make an unsaved woman submit to her husband as Christ.
But you know what? If I be honest with you, I find more women that go to the club in the street submit to their husband than the one that go to church Sunday after Sunday, week after week, and day after day. Now,
because he let her go to the club. Because she let her go to the club. That's why.
Huh?
Because he allows her to go to the club. He don't have an itch with her going to the club.
But she's submissive though.
Yeah, as long as she can go to the club.
No, that's not true.
I
dated. Come on. You know me. You know I ain't always been a good boy. Come on now.
You want to start this free street? Come on now. Come on now. We all date. Well, let me put it like this: the women I dated to the club. Yeah. That was an understanding condition.
Wait a minute.
They wasn't gonna stop going no club.
Wait a minute, Dr. Boy. Now you know you've been a church boy all your life. You ain't been in no club.
Whatever.
I ain't never seen you in no club.
No, I was in the backyard because I couldn't afford to go to the club.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. And that's understandable in relationships that they have. I'm not saying they can't submit. I'm saying they're not going to be submissive as unto the Lord if he's not Lord.
But I still say some of the best women, we're going to let you get it, Dr. Steve. Some of the best women I ever dated was a girl that was in the club. I'm going to tell you, I
feel sorry for you.
Man, when I tell you them girl was all right with me, look at him. Make you come home and pay them bills, boy. You be like, oh yeah, you need to, oh yeah, here it is. You can go out here and do some.
I didn't fish in the clubs in the hole.
Oh, I fished in.
I fished in the library.
I was out there in the world. I had a good time.
I was fishing in the church. I was fishing in them locations where they say when you want to catch good fish.
And then the one, and be honest, the one that you did catch in the church, how much hell did they put you in?
They ain't put me no hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go off the air just for temporary. We're going to get the truth out of it. Then we're gonna come back.
I'm really, because it wasn't that many. And the ones I did, the only reason why I couldn't back in that time, and the only reason why that relationship in, because they wasn't going to fornicate.
Yeah, they were still breathing and learning
their way. I'm talking about the ones I'm fooling with. I'm being straight up. I didn't get all of them in the bed. Now, I have known some in there that would freak you, out.
Yeah.
I do know that. But I'm saying I didn't know in my little circle.
Still here. Yeah.
My little circle I did not have that. But again, that and I can't knock you for saying what you're saying about the young lady that attended to the club, because I believe you me, there's a lot of respect to a young lady that go to the club, because again, she's with who she's with.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
She's with who she with.
Right.
But she gonna be out there.
Yeah.
Bottom line, she with what she with.
But you ain't have to worry about her. When you were in the club with that woman, I remember when I was in that club, you ain't have to worry about her Don't worry, we're gonna turn this bulldog loose. They calling for Dr. Stevie. They calling for Dr. Stevie. We gonna get you in. We gonna get him in. But when I was in that club, I ain't putting down no church girl. I'm just saying to you that girl in that club treated you differently. She didn't have no boundaries. You know, when you're fooling with a church girl, she don't know if she should be with her husband or with the Lord. She don't know what comes first. She just lost at all costs. And they messed up like that in the church so heavy now. They don't even know they obey the pastor before they obey their husband at home. The husband paying all the bill and putting pantyhose on them so they can go to church. And they go to church and tell the husband, I'll be back when I get back. Pastor said I need to bring him some fried chicken. Now, who you married to? Your pastor? Or are you married to your husband who providing for you? You don't know the difference, baby. You in trouble. You confused sitting in the church. Now, I told you I'm going to let my hair down just a tad because I've been real nice lately. I've been quiet and sitting back. But these church girls gone wild and went crazy. And they pantyhose, it got fishnets in them now. They ain't nothing but slip those holes. I'm just sorry to tell you, and it's on my station. I done said it, and I ain't scared because they need to get their mind back together and understand what you can't obey God if you can't obey your husband standing in front of your face. Your first responsibility is not to God. Your first responsibility is to the man. And I don't know where they get this foolishness from. Talking about, yeah, I said it. Because this fool, they get this foolishness from talking about I supposed to follow my husband as long as he followed Christ. That ain't even nowhere in the Bible. Read that scripture right. He said, obey him, for he have rule over you, and you shall bear his seed all the days of your life. And I'm going to give you something, going to give you pain every month to remember what your mother did in the beginning. And because she did it, because you came through her wombs and you a woman, you going to get the same thing. Brother, you going to get the same thing. You going to have to sweat to take care of that gal. And make sure she got food on the table because she's not built for long-term work labor. She's not. She's just not. So what am I getting at? The perspective of a woman taking responsibility, we are finding safe nets for them, and they're study biting like two-legged snakes around here. They always running around seeking what they can gobble up, and they can't even handle what they got. And that thing, you know, they just like a snake. When they don't swallow up something, they regurgitate it back up. And now you full of all kind of venom and laying there half tore up and dead. Here she is and going down the street looking for something else to swallow up, to venom up. It's time for them to take responsibility. They don't get a pass because the man don't do responsibility. God said, you have a responsibility, woman. Man, you have a responsibility. I don't care what the other one don't do. Your responsibility to get the job done, what I told you to do. And when he come back, don't come telling me nothing about that man and don't come telling me nothing about that woman. I gave you your responsibility.
See, that's what happened with you rookies, you know.
Now he said, rookie, come on with it.
See, this is what happened with you rookies. When y'all get up in the church, there's a difference in the woman that go to church and the woman that's in the church.
Okay, that's where you're going to run to. Let's ride with it.
So at the end of the day, a woman that is and in that time, in a few women it wasn't every woman in the church, but it was just still a few women who didn't want to be at home. At the end of the day, they didn't want to be at home, and the church was the safe haven for women that was abuse or whatever. So they used
that's where they hid it. And most of them came up pregnant.
Exactly. That was where they hid it. It was their refuge in that time.
Yeah.
So, but yes, you're right. I'm not going to argue the fact that we did not have issues where women's was more dedicated to the pastor because of what he was preaching behind the pulpit. And on the anniversary day, when y'all get up there, when we all got up that line talking about this is the greatest man alive, you need to respect.
What about when he had office ministry?
Come on, when you're raising his offering, How you talk to this is the best church in the whole wide world. We get up and we quoted all those things, and for some of those vulnerable women and gullible men, they bought into the lingo of what we were just expressing during offering time, but it was not to be taken literally. But some people did take it literally. Come on. We can't play both sides of the fence here, because I'm a pastor too. We can't play both sides of it. And we came up in the church together. So there is a few of those women that did do what you stated, that they are more dedicated.
Well, I'm like Lot. I'm like Lot when God told Lot, just go find me one.
I mean, it wasn't a lot to brag on, but there was some few women. That was my mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law. You know, I mean, well, she's still my mother-in-law in the sense of not together, but that woman carried those holy women in the church. The majority of those women that I knew, that they conducted themselves, and as Dr. Stevens was saying, they was the women that didn't get the respect.
Yeah.
These are the women who were paying the bills at home while pastor is running down the street trying to get a revival for $2. These were the ones that were taking care of the kids while they was out there doing superintendent, running over here, running over there. You got to do this revival, got to go to the conference, got to go there. They was at home taking care of the kids. And to the point that most of these women, when their spouse died from all that running, was in poverty. They was in poverty.
All right.
But church didn't take care of them. So at the end of the day, when you say take responsibility, there's enough of this responsibility to go around. But I feel pity for people who did get involved with some of these wolf in sheep clothing. And if you wasn't intelligent enough, that's why I said I was a professional hoe. I knew how far to go with anything else. Look here, the things that the women that did to me that I did get spoiled by wasn't because of them, it was because of my ignorance. That's the bottom line. Well, I take responsibility for that. They didn't do nothing to me that I did not allow. And the only reason why they got that, because I wasn't willing to listen. I had my mind made up how I want things and how I wanted to go, even when the Bible was saying what I was saying I wasn't going to do it. So I can be honest and take responsibility for what I know. So these women that took advantage of me, some of them just upgrade me. Come on. They just upgrade me to a level I wasn't there. But when you out of your league fooling with church women and all these women, then you going to don't come crying up here about she did this to me. What you think going to happen? This is the game.
That's it.
This is how this rolls.
Now, this is true.
This is how this rolls. So if you don't know what, again, sit up under some students and listen to Dr. Stevens on this show and give you some great pointers so that you can avoid putting yourself in that mess. But you fell in that mess because you were letting the little head think for the big head. And now you want to use the big head talking about, well, we need to do something about these women. No, you need to do something about your head. And they don't mess you, don't jack you up. You can't even stay with a woman 5 minutes now because you paranoid, you shell shocked, you got PTSD.
Not shell shocked. Yeah, he shell shocked, isn't it? A scared man ain't gonna. Come on, Dr. Steve, step on in here. Come on, they looking for you out here in the house. Come on.
I'm not going to
listen at that soft tone voice as he approached. He know how to dock in, Dr. Vaughn.
He's trying to stay away from some very deep trouble.
No, no, hold on. Let me finish. Right.
Go ahead. You got it.
I'm working on something, and so as I work on it, I want to make sure that it has some fluidity.
Yeah.
And I can identify the direction. Since we are talking about responsibility,
right,
and how that's important. Yes, it is important. It will always be important. I cannot say, and when we say men and women, first of all, we have to make sure that this is an objective generalization. This is an objective generalization based upon social norms
Right.
that have been seen and established among those that happen to be a part of our ethnicity. And since we are of this hue, some of what I may say and some of what we may use as a measuring stick of experience could be relegated to our ethnicity. So with that, I'm speaking in terms of generalization based upon these established social norms. And part of that consists of, for the last 50 years at least, they've been responsible for whatever the ills are that concerns our community that makes up people that share my hue and pigmentation.
Mm-hmm.
This has been seen on television shows. This has been seen in movies that depicted someone that looked like you to be a villain, to be a monster. That and that's been the generalization. And without accepting that as a part of the reality, and I'm just speaking for the last 50 years, and say that many of the times we are approached as men of my hue based upon what they've already seen flash in front of their faces and earmarked from some of the people that transferred what was uncomfortable to them to their child.
That's right.
Yeah, I got you.
That was transferred. And yet we were responsible for, and here is where the rubber always meets the wall. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And my challenge is always this: if the man is not with her, it must be something he did. If the woman is no longer with him, if the woman is no longer with him, there is a strong possibility that she just reached her point, or whatever the case may be.
It's
whatever
still no responsibility.
But and I get it. I'm not talking about anyone's individualized experience. I'm talking about what family court says. I'm talking about what family court says.
Right.
And has said for an unprecedented amount of years in family court. When men that are of my age, and some of them brothers are in their 30s, find out that the man that he thought was his father, 30 years, he was led to believe
that was his father.
That was his father.
Boy,
he raised them. And here is the catch. Before we defend or even deflect, who is trying and who has pointed out the need for that man to be ministered to?
Nobody.
He's
nobody scared of you, Dr. Stevie. Ain't nobody scared of you. You gonna drop that bomb like that, man?
No.
Yeah. But watch this. Did that man seek for help? That's the key. If you've been damaged, if you've been shot, you don't sit around and wait for somebody to say, "Do you need help?"
And I like that.
You cry out for help.
And
cry out for help.
I'm glad that that's there. But can I tell you this? This is what I mean by responsibility. When a man cries out for help, he is viewed socially as a problem because he cannot solve the problem that consists of money.
That's right.
Okay. She cries out for help. There's a different reaction. And to say that there isn't one is take responsibility. Here it goes. Is to take responsibility for her part
Mm-hmm.
in part of the dysfunction.
Mm-hmm. That's right. This is true.
For 50 years, television, radio, sitcoms, talk shows, they have made millions upon millions of dollars talking about how no good we are.
Yep.
They and see, and listen, I love the fact that I am not buried in subjectivity, because I am not going to disclose, earmark my personal life or personal experiences.
Right.
That's because why? I'm so glad that the world is much larger than me. And that man that has experienced what those things are, what those things consisted of. Notice, not only should help be available to him, he's got to go find his help.
Exactly.
Help is available for her.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
We got to go shop for
we know that there are government. Now let me calm down.
No. Keep going.
No, I got to. There are governmental policies, state and federally, that are designed for her as a single parent. If she chooses not to take advantage of them, I salute. I know some who have used it, and that's all I'm gonna say. I saw some that used it. They thank you. ... I didn't say it. Pastor Boy said they abused it. No, and yet, can I tell you? And yet, as a community of people, we still find it difficult to acknowledge that is problematic. We still can't acknowledge that thinking is problematic.
Boy.
And if you have the audacity to acknowledge that it's problematic or give a critique to it, then you're unqualified. When anyone is capable of giving a critique, she's been doing it for years. She's always been able to do it. And it's okay. But if you give a critique or just acknowledge what you like or acknowledge what you would desire to have, then it's something wrong with you. Why you just not mature enough. It's something that consists of you not being
Greetings, Ms. Russell.
And so if we're going to share the responsibility,
excuse me,
here he goes. If we're going to share in the success, can you share in the failure?
Now talk about it. Say that again.
I just want to know. If you can
only want the success part, Doc. They don't
can
want
you share the failure?
The failure is all on us.
Yeah, I mean, can you share? So I didn't tell you to share as much as I share. I just want to know, can you share a point?
I ain't gonna share it. I tell
that's
you
all.
That's all. You wasted time.
That's all. Just a portion.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do it.
That's all.
They ain't gonna do it.
Say that, man.
I know they ain't gonna share it. You know they ain't gonna share it. You know it. They ain't gonna share it. That's too much. Let's run this clip. Here we go.
So consequently, you spend a lot of your life dating without realizing it, your friends. You spend a lot of your life trying to make sure that you can outshine them. Consequently, you end up not chasing the healed woman, but you chase the broken one, not just because she's beautiful, because there's some beautiful healed women. You chase the broken one because you like the confidence, not even the confidence, the conceit of that woman.
Oh, hold on. We got a countdown commercial.
I've ever done. I will snap.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all want me to tell the truth.
Oh, we getting.
You like the conceit of that woman. You like the fact that when she goes to the barbecue, she's wearing something short and skimpy.
What'd you say, Dr. Bart?
That's what Dr. Stevens was saying earlier about the woman she was born with. That video, a couple of videos that popped in there.
That's a commercial. Stay focused.
You like the fact that she bent over in front of Uncle Earl's face. You like those type of things. These are signals, red flags. These are signs that this is not a woman that you want to take home to mommy. This is not a woman that you want to tie your last name to.
Right.
This is not a woman that you want to have kids with, that you want to affiliate yourself with. But you will link yourself to a person like that and then turn around and complain. I've had plenty of sessions with men, even before I was doing sessions. And it was almost always the same thing. You guys, you go after women that look good on the outside, but on the inside, they look like Freddy Krueger.
Let me go on and pause that real quick. Now, she said, and I think from that point, I think she may have a validated point. But the question is tonight that I want to ask is, why do we find ourselves messing with the broken woman? Is it because she's so easy to get? Or she just got that good 9-9? Cause we having men talk, this being round table talk. I can see looking forward. He get ready.
I'm gonna load this mic up and I'm gonna just drop it right here.
I'm getting ready to take a ride
feel
here
good tonight. I ain't that tired with the I feel good. Broken people.
You answered my phone call today too.
I've been busy.
Yeah, I know what you've been doing, literally. Down there with that box on. I don't want no part of that. Well, I call, I hang up, keep moving.
Yeah. let me do it.
See what he got for you, boy. Look there.
He got the orange juice. Lord have mercy. Show's over with. I'm gonna go and make this point.
All right.
To the young lady's point. Broken people in Genesis, if you go into genealogy, you got this one word that makes Genesis relevant. Adam begat Seth. So I'm gonna put that just an analogy. Broken people begat broken people. You don't have no language for a healed person.
Now, that's true.
You don't have a language for a person who recognize and have taken the responsibility. So I'm going to only communicate with the people that understand this language and understand what I am. Because I can't talk to you.
So you saying broken people recognize broken people?
I don't even think they even realize they broken. Because don't nobody walk around. I didn't say back in the day I'm broken. You know, for the most part, I thought I was good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I got out the relationship. I done moved on. I'm good. You know, I'm just ready to get back in her. But I go to this here. I'm not looking for broken. I'm looking for availability. Now, let me just go on and just toot my own horn. There was some women I date wasn't broken, but when I got through with them, they were broken.
And you gonna admit this on live TV?
Yeah, I admit this
you
on
better go high
live TV.
tonight.
Because why?
Hey.
And that's just real talk. Because again, because I portrayed myself as being like I had, you know, you're gonna put your best suit on. You're gonna put your best game face on when you get in the situation. But for the most part, most of us don't find out how broken this person is until after this.
Well, I think all the signs is there. I think the signs are there. I'll be honest with you on that. I think the red flags is being thrown, but because that one time and that thing felt good. Come on, I'm just gonna keep it real. It felt good. The bedroom felt good. She knew how to work on the knob. Come on.
No, you know what? I'm gonna go with you on Thomas. I'm gonna go with you on this, but this is where I'm gonna go with it. That what Dr. Stephen would use in the, you know, probably from the psychological aspect, soul ties. Had that not been the intercourse that tied us together, I would have walked away from the red flag. I wouldn't have tolerated.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But I'm saying, but I don't think it's always sexual motivated. It's what you. I'm gonna put it like this. Let me go and just be real. It ain't always the sex that drive it, because I'm gonna tell you something. Ain't only so much knowledge you can turn. That sex is not always the driving force unless you have no life.
But if she turned the right on,
but no, they ain't gonna pay no bills, and they ain't gonna do none of that, because responsibilities are always gonna rise up in those situations when you get through toes curling and backboard breaking. There's gonna be some bills still need to be paid, and that's when the fight gonna start. So what I'm saying today, what I'm saying is that when you have low self-esteem and you got some of your own challenges and you thinking this is what you need, you ain't focused on everything else. You just get what you think you needing for that person. And I'm just talking straight point. I'm not being generic or generalization. I'm just talking from my own experience. Is the woman that I feel is good for me at that moment that I think I need. Now, whether she's broken, I couldn't see that. And, and I get sick of folks talking around like you got a stamp tapped on the top of your head saying whether you broken or whole. You don't know this. And I disagree with a whole lot of this young lady saying what we don't seek. You don't know what we seeking. The thing is that they're going to go to what's available, because you say you heal.
That's right.
What says about your life? Let me act like Dr. Stevie. What have you done in your life that says that you whole? The fact that you got to say it, I need to know who you trying to convince.
Exactly.
What do a healed woman look like?
That's it. Who is she?
Let me tell you this. Let me just keep it real. Because Dr. Stevie and me, he won't fight on this. Now, I don't want social things from the government to help a man. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in social aids going to helping men. I think there are, now don't get me wrong. I think there are some sisters need to go for some of these single parent men, fathers that are taking care of these kids now. I think, and they are programs out there, but they're not as lucrative as some of the women have. But I understand that to a certain level of agree. But at the end of the day, the problem that we had and that we faced when we saw that welfare system go wild is that people started depending on that like it was their career. It was their job. They always say, that's my paycheck. No, that ain't your paycheck, baby. That's coming out of somebody's taxes. That's coming out of Dr. Stevens' check. That ain't your money.
That's it.
They took our money and provided you care and love. That's money coming from the taxpayers. So it ain't your money.
Ain't yours.
We're paying for that assistance and stuff. And this broken system, which people think they come up with the idea of what they think need to help people, is this broken system that does. And I totally agree with him that we keep this gulf fixed between men and women in our society. You keep talking about it, but we're constantly dividing. We're constantly feeding into that gap with some of the programs and some of the things and dividing. To now, everybody think this is about a woman and a man. It's a fight. It's an argument or whatever. I'm just coming back and I'm gonna let him get in here because I want him to get in here and get good. But I just don't feel in these situations like this young lady is talking about, you know what? You ain't got a clue. Girl, you don't look like you wet behind the ear. Come on here. You ain't been through enough. You can't even sit up and tell me you don't even know what a whole woman look like.
Exactly.
You don't know what a woman who got her thing, you're going to base it up on experience. If you want a whole woman, go to Proverbs 31. If you want a whole woman, go to Hannah. These women don't always look like they got 5-star ratings and got the best body and everything else. Yeah. It's who they are on the inside of them that qualifies them to be that woman that's whole. And there are some women who have come out, but they are not on social media talking about what wholeness is about, because they sought God for themselves. And until you seek God, you won't even know you broken.
That's it.
You living on broken pieces,
That's
thinking
it.
you whole.
That's it. That's
You
it.
got a
right there.
piece of you. And
That's
nigga, you done had more than 5 relationships. You've been spreaded. You spread it out over time. 5
Not
times.
mayonnaise, is it? Not mayonnaise.
See, you know what I'm saying? So at this time, I just hate these rookies get on these social medias and talk about how she deal with men and what these men chase and stuff like that. See, that's the reason, and that goes my point. You still got some issues yourself trying to help somebody.
How the blind gonna help the blind? Go ahead, Dr. Steve.
One of the things that I did not agree with is how it was presented as if men have a hive mind mentality when we are dating and mating or desiring a lady to date. We don't think with a hive mind. All of us like that same one woman. No, we don't. Because all of us have our own beauty standards.
Exactly.
Preach, man. You said it better.
Now, so we don't think like that. Now, if a woman is appealing, she's appealing. But that don't mean that that brother wants to ask for her number, ask to take her out, or anything like that.
Right.
She may be appealing. But if we don't get together and say, hey, you think she bad? You think she bad? You want her? You want her? We don't, all of us don't. I'm trying to get away from being too descriptive. I'm trying not to be too descriptive because, you know, all right, I tell you, I knew some guys I went to college with, and one of the guys said to the other guy, we'll never have a problem. He said, why we wouldn't have a problem? Because, you know, I like a woman that look like a rope.
A what?
A rope.
A rope.
A rope.
Straight.
That's what a rope. He
like
said
you climb on rope.
He said he liked a slim, slender woman.
That's a Slim Jim. That's what we call him.
That was what he said. I'm not
she get anywhere. She get anywhere.
So that was what he was attracted to.
Right.
I have another friend of mine. We were in college. We were in the band together. If the lady wasn't dark, I mean, he really lived by the impression.
Right.
Hey man, she dark. Like that was what he liked. Now, is it wrong to like what you like?
No.
I'm not. No, that's not. We are not. Men are not high-minded individuals when we are looking at a lady.
This is true.
Since all other men like her, I like her, and that was the implication. I was somewhat. I didn't agree with that.
Right.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. You know, but to now deal with what Pastor Boyd said about these social entitlement programs and how he don't want them. He don't want them. You shouldn't want that as a man. Shouldn't want that as a man.
No, let me correct that. I said that should not be, the man should not have to rely on a system. I'm talking about a man should not have to rely on the system to make it. I think the system should help the man when the man is in a bad place, but I don't think it should be to the same degree that these women have taken advantage of this situation.
Can I tell you this? I believe, here is the word we've been using quite often. I believe a responsible adult should strive to take care of their business. Mm-hmm. Notice I use the word adult.
Responsible adult. Right. There's two clauses. Yeah.
So that means if you are taking advantage of a system, because I mean
you're not mature.
It's a problem there. Now, and you can say, oh, men this and men have not been given, and I don't even want to go into the origin of why that system was developed and constructed to begin with. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go there because that rabbit hole will mess you up. But I will tell you this: men did not abuse that system because we were not even afforded that type of access.
Exactly. But you had successful men that did do it.
Here is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, I love everybody. I've made a conscious decision that there is nobody that's worth me not going to heaven.
Right.
Nobody, nothing. So what that means, I'm gonna forgive everybody. Because I need all my sins forgiven.
Yes, sir.
I need that for me.
Right.
And you're not worth me jeopardizing that.
Right.
That ain't worth it.
Right.
But when we start to express various things from a different paradigm,
Mm-hmm.
a different paradigm,
Mm-hmm.
that if I don't want to deal with you, then what happens next? Here is another thing. Maury Povich led the way. What we're doing, if we're given a critique in terms of the behaviors we like or the behaviors we don't like, the mistakes we made and what have you, and Maury Povich, and now after Maury Povich, we see DNA court shows that expose some of the most interesting things. And the reason why it is so interesting is because it hadn't been talked about. The reason why it is so interesting is because we haven't been exposing it on a large scale. Now, a guy by the name of Maury Povich exploited more people through the attention that some people wanted to gain by being on TV, or maybe what they were compensated. But whatever the case may be, they allowed their personal business to be the world's business.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
You're right.
Then the DNA court shows showed and some of the stuff that I may express is because I've been watching these court shows.
Yeah.
And I will analyze it. Watch it, analyze it. Talk to some friends of mine that are attorneys. And just listen. Like, man, what do you get that? What is the data? What did you get? Oh man, so that is a real component when you don't know who your father is.
Wow. Wow.
You don't know who the man is.
Wow.
You hate a man you don't know.
No. And you painted that way to do that.
Do you? I don't think we understand with that. I'm telling you, I can't go into other areas, but I was working at a school. I'm gonna say this, I was working at a school, and someone of authority told me that young man has a hard time. He will not listen to men. He cannot listen to men. He has a problem with men.
Mm-hmm.
He's 15 years old because of what is transpiring in his home.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to the person of authority, I said, if he has a problem with men, he has a problem with humanity.
No, that's true.
Tell him to go look in the mirror.
That's right. That's right.
He had it's real. Our boys don't know how to respond to men.
Right.
This is true.
But then it begs the question, who's his father? And before we start talking about how no good he is, can we identify the who? Can we take responsibility and say, I know who? Can we own that part?
Wow.
Let's start there. Let's start there. Let's start with identifying the who. I don't think we take into account the emotional investment that some men have given to children, only to find out that it was never his child.
Wow, man, talk about it.
And yet we'll try to find a way. He should have knew. He should have known. He didn't tell. Instead of somebody saying, "Say, man, I know that hurt that dude. Yeah, all right, man. Let's go get some chicken." It's like, buck up. Okay. And guess what? And when I do, and how I express it, or even if I express the pain of it, who hurt you? You hate women, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't get a girlfriend, can you?
That's what it is. That's what the problem is.
We then began to shame him because he is expressing how he feels. When he says, "Say, man, you know what, Doc, man, look, man, my mama got me, man. I don't know who my daddy is, man. That dude wasn't my daddy. It came out that, man, that dude wasn't my daddy, man."
Well, let me say this, Dr. Stevenson, on that point, because I am that man. Now,
wow.
I raised, my mom, and took the bulk of it more than me and her mother. But I knew it was something up at the pregnancy. And I know you're not talking about me, but I just wanted to put this testimony out here. That due to the abuse that her mother was in with the guy, and to the point that we had to relocate her, I knew within my heart that child was going to be fatherless. And at first, I was going to take the route, "That's not my child. Let's get the blood test and do all that." But I didn't take that route. And when we talked about it early on, she said, after the baby born, "Do you want to get a blood test to make sure it's yours?" I said, "Regardless, what is mine or not, that child need a father, and I'm going to be the father." I made that choice. Now, 30 years later, she meets back up with the guy, the mother does, and she goes and have the blood test, and more importantly, finds out, yes, I'm not the father. But when we had that discussion with me and my daughter, and I asked her, how she felt about it, and she said, and I said, "You can be real about it." And she was saying she just felt like her mama should have told her she knew something. That I said, "No, don't put that. If you're going to put this on anybody, put it on me. Because I see it. Regardless of whether you're not, I was going to, step up and be that role." So that was my decision. Now, of course, for her to go and get the blood test, it's that old school saying, "Mama, baby, papa, maybe." But I asked her at the end of the day, "Now that you know the truth, how did that make you feel?" She said, "I don't feel anything." She said, "I don't know him. The only dad I know is you."
Wow.
So a dad is not who he is biologically. It's who he is. It's what he do. It's what that father does, whether they child or not. It's what they child does. And yes, it is horrifying to hear some of these young men grow up not knowing who their father is, or their father rejecting them.
It's difficult.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And we don't address that because it's so common in our ethnicity that it's a norm for us. So everybody on here, other than Dr. Stevens, can talk about, "Hey, I ain't had my father in my life." So it's
I didn't have mine either.
So it's going to always be
a certain age,
conversation. So, but at the end of the day, in most cases that y'all deal with on the professional level, I can probably see on the general level how big of that problem really is, because at the end of the day, that child is saying, I don't know my father. But there are a lot of men who were. There are a few men that was in the house, and the children still don't know their father.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying the swing has to swing both ways, because it doesn't guarantee because the father is present, they know them. I don't think I think my kids are getting to know me better now in their adult levels than they ever did as a child.
Wow, yeah.
You know, so, and I've been in their life all their life. I've been their single dad, you know, and me and my wife, my Dr. Bishop knows my ex-wife. We didn't fight over that court. I just told her, I see a better opportunity for these kids in Dallas. I don't, you know, hey, we'll work this thing out. We ain't got to go to court, you know, and we worked that thing out. But I'm just saying that, and for some men that are listening to this, you know, that don't know your father, look at some of the testimonies on here. We didn't let that freaking stuff stop who we were going to be.
That's right.
That's just the bottom line.
Man, that's crazy.
You can have your emotions, and I know that hurt.
Right.
I know that stretch. I know how much painful that is.
Yeah.
But you got to make up in your mind, or you going to repeat.
Yeah. You going to do the same thing he did. That's Dr. Steve, I'm going to get ready to let you in here on this. But that's funny because the next topic is about men that have been raised without their fathers and the holes that they have left in the men concerning that matter, and dealing with a father figure. Now, most people call it stepfather, but you can never be a stepfather. You can only...
We call them bonus in our house. He frozen?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, go ahead and drop your piece in there for
man. I'm just sitting here chilling, man, and observing how various things are developed. Now, my theory is a little different, you know, because it was all connected to responsibility,
right,
and being mature enough and having the emotional wherewithal to deal with those emotional consequences and still acknowledge, hey, this is where I messed up.
Right.
This is what, and if she never does that,
I totally agree with that.
That there can't be anything that comes out of it that's better outside of the emotional component of not knowing who your daddy is. There's a certain genetic composition that boy has, but he will identify, I'm different, man. I don't know why I never talk like, I never thought like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm like, am I weird? Because he is able to identify as something different. As he develops and gets older, when let's say he has his dad. Mm-hmm. I asked my daddy sometime, what were you doing when you were my age? I'm the you were.
Wow.
I'm the you were.
Right.
And then be quiet. And then he got to get into something else. Because now because it's beginning to click. Men develop legacy. We develop legacy. In other words, you pick up where I left off.
Right.
And then I move further, and now Pastor Boyd's grandson pick up and go another step.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, all right, this was where I started now, son. I'm gonna help you I'm gonna help you go as far as I can. Okay, as far as I can help you.
Right.
I have my son.
Right.
I have my son say, boy, I'm gonna push you as hard as I can. But this is where we starting. I don't start from the same place my daddy started.
Right.
I don't start from the same place my father started.
Right.
But that comes with thinking about and identifying forward movement. But if we don't change how we think, everything will be so many things will be nothing more than a survival mechanism, because there is nothing wrong with public housing. There's nothing wrong with any of those things.
Right.
For anyone.
Right.
That is just that simple. My problem is when it's abused,
yes.
and if it's not distributed with equality and equity equity.
Yes, sir.
Because I try not to use my experience, but I know a young lady who got pregnant, and her plan was to get pregnant.
Okay.
To get on housing.
Jesus.
Or to get moved up.
Right.
Now, we were all younger, but that was her movement. That was her plan. Indeed. All right. I think that's it.
All right, I'm so sorry. We had some technical issues here. Fall and the wind is pretty high, and we are dealing with our internet system. And we want to thank Dr. Bard, and we want to thank our co-host, Pastor Bard, for coming on, being with us tonight. And certainly, we gonna turn it loose. I'm so sorry, we had some technical issues. And we're gonna turn it loose tonight, and we're gonna make up to you guys on Monday night for what happened tonight. I do apologize to you. We mid-air on TV and it went out, so I think they are networking everything into this. I think they are networking everything into it, and I think it kind of got some kind of a glitch in the system. So y'all be patient with us as we work tirelessly, to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Thank you, all of you that showed up, and we're gonna go ahead and close the show. We're not gonna cut back in, but look for us Monday night, and we shall continue our effort to be a benefit to the men's at this true men's roundtable. All right, y'all be nice and kind, be sweet, and most of all, be loving, be thankful, and let me say to you, upcoming Merry Christmas. 24 days countdown on our way to Christmas. All right, let's go.